Have you noticed this? In the morning, just as the sun begins to rise, the smell of fresh coffee drifts through the kitchen. You pick up that familiar cup, take a sip, and your mind feels sharp, your spirit lifted. But then, when you stand up to walk down the stairs or carry grocery bags in from the car, your legs feel shaky, heavy. This is the paradox millions of Americans over 60 live with every single day. The brain feels awake, but the body, especially the legs, just can't keep up anymore. You start avoiding stairs because they feel harder. Even climbing a few steps leaves you winded. You notice you're walking slower with friends or family. Playing with the grandkids feels exhausting. And then you tell yourself, well, that's just aging. That's normal, right? But here's the truth. No, it's not just age. And no, it's not because you've been lazy or haven't eaten enough protein. There's something deeper, something quieter happening inside your body that weakens your muscles day by day. A biological process that makes your body stop hearing the signals to build muscle, even when you're eating right and moving your body. In medicine, we call this anabolic resistance, your body's resistance to the very signals that once built and repaired muscle. And if it's not addressed, it opens the door to sarcopenia, age-related muscle loss, one of the leading reasons so many people lose their independence as they grow older. But don't worry. Here's the good news. The solution may already be sitting in your hand every single morning, right there in your coffee cup. And today I'm going to show you how to turn that simple daily ritual into a powerful medicine against muscle loss. The very first step to reclaiming strength in your legs. Now let's imagine your body as a construction site. Every meal you eat chicken, salmon, eggs, beans, those are the bricks. And every time you exercise, even something as simple as walking around the block or sitting and standing a few times, that's the foreman shouting, "Build another wall." Reinforce that corner. When you're young, the workers on that site are sharp and responsive. They hear the command, and immediately they get to work. You eat protein, you move your body, and your muscles respond stronger, fuller, healthier. That's the beautiful process of anabolism building up. But something strange happens after 60. The workers don't disappear. The bricks are still there. The command is still being shouted, but the manager of the site, the foreman in charge, begins to lose his hearing. The orders don't echo the way they used to. That's what we call anabolic resistance. Your body simply isn't as sensitive to the signals to build muscle anymore. And the result? Even if you eat more protein, even if you exercise faithfully, the muscles don't rebuild the way you hope. Instead, your body slips into the opposite state, catabolism, where you're breaking down more muscle than you're building. Suddenly, every step, every time you lift a bag, every climb up the stairs, it all feels heavier. I've seen this so many times in my patients. Take Mr. Allen, 72 years old. He ate 3 protein-rich meals every day he drank his milk. He thought he was doing everything right. Yet his legs still trembled when he walked. When we ran the tests, we discovered the truth: he wasn't lacking bricks. He was lacking a clear enough signal. And that's why so many people over 60 feel frustrated. They think, if I just eat more protein, I'll be fine. But that's not the whole story. The problem isn't the number of bricks, it's the strength of the command. The workers are waiting, but they need a louder, sharper signal to wake up and get to work. And here's the good news. In just a moment, I'm going to share with you the secret switch that can flip that command back on and kickstart your body's building process once again. So if the foreman in your muscle construction site is hard of hearing, how do we make sure he listens? The answer lies in a tiny but powerful amino acid, leucine. Leucine is one of the 9 essential amino acids, meaning your body can't produce it on its own. You have to get it from food. It belongs to the BCAA family, along with isoleucine and valine. But here's the key. If all amino acids were an orchestra, leucine would be the conductor. It's not just another brick to build muscle. It's the switch that flips on your body's protein-building machinery. In medical science, we call this the mTOR pathway, the central command system for muscle growth. When leucine levels in your blood reach a certain threshold, it's like a strong knock on the door waking up that sleepy foreman and shouting, "Start building right now." And here's the catch, it's not enough to just eat more protein. When you're young, you can trigger muscle building with as little as 15 to 20 grams of protein in a meal. But after 60, because of anabolic resistance, your body needs a stronger push, usually around 2.5 to 3 grams of leucine in one meal. Anything less, and the signal is too weak. The foreman doesn't even bother to get up. I think of my patient, Mrs. Marjorie, age 70. She told me, "Doctor, I've been eating chicken and salmon, but my muscles don't feel any stronger." When we adjusted her meals to make sure she was hitting that leucine threshold with just a small scoop of whey protein in her morning routine, within 6 weeks she could stand up from her chair without pushing on the armrest. That's the power of leucine. It's the finger that flips the switch your aging body has been waiting for. And the best part, you can bring it into your day, easily blended right into the most familiar habit you already have every morning, your cup of coffee. Have you ever noticed? Most of the habits we carry through our entire lives are tied to little daily rituals. For many people, especially after 60, that sacred ritual is the morning cup of coffee. So why not turn that very ritual into a tool for rebuilding your muscle strength? Science shows us something fascinating. When you take leucine in the morning after an overnight fast, your body is like an open highway. There aren't many other amino acids crowding the lanes. So leucine becomes the VIP guest, absorbed, quickly reaching peak levels in your blood and giving mTOR exactly the jolt it needs to flip on the switch for muscle growth. And when you combine it with the caffeine in your coffee, something remarkable happens. Caffeine widens blood vessels, improves circulation, and helps leucine travel faster to your muscles. It also stimulates your nervous system, making your muscle cells more alert and responsive to the signal. A simple partnership, but a brilliant one. Leucine gives the command, and coffee makes sure that command gets delivered loud and clear. Now I want to emphasize something here. This isn't a magic potion. Pouring leucine into your coffee without moving your body, without balancing your meals, won't create miracles. But if you weave it into a routine you already have, it becomes a rhythm of life. Each morning, it's not just about waking up your mind, it's about sending a message to your muscles, time to get to work. I once told a patient of mine, good health doesn't come from grand, once-in-a-lifetime decisions. It comes from small improvements repeated every single day. And that morning, coffee with leucine. It might just be one of those small improvements, simple, sustainable, but capable of bringing back real strength. At this point, you might be asking yourself, right, but how much leucine do I actually need? And how should I take it to see real results? This is the part I want you to remember carefully, because the details here will decide your success. First, the dose. Research shows that to overcome anabolic resistance after 60, you need about 2.5 to 3 grams of pure leucine in a single serving. Less than that won't flip the switch, and more doesn't bring extra benefit, it's just wasted. Think of it like an alarm clock. 3 grams is enough to wake up the system. 6 grams doesn't make you twice as awake. Second, the form. Choose pure L-leucine powder. Stay away from mixed BCAA blends. The leucine content is usually too low, and you'd need to drink a huge amount just to reach the threshold. Capsules aren't ideal either. You'd need 5 or 6 large pills, and they absorb more slowly. Powder dissolves easily in a hot cup of coffee and gets into your system quickly. Third, the timing. Take it within 30 to 60 minutes after waking up, when your body is still in a fasted state. That's when leucine has its own private highway, no competition from other amino acids. The sooner you take it, the clearer and stronger the signal will be. Fourth, safety. For most healthy people, leucine is very safe. But if you have kidney or liver issues, or you're on long-term medications, check with your doctor first. I've had patients worried about kidney stress, but long-term studies show leucine is harmless when taken in the right dose. Remember, personalization matters. Each body is unique. And finally, here's a small but powerful tip. Move your body for 10 minutes afterward. Do a few sit-to-stands, walk around the house, or pick up some light resistance exercises. Think of leucine as the command, and those movements as your signature on the contract. Together, they seal the deal, and your body can no longer ignore the signal to build muscle. I know some of you may not like the idea of taking powders, or maybe you simply prefer a more natural solution. The good news is this: you can absolutely reach the leucine threshold just from everyday foods if you know how to choose them. The key is the number after 60. You need about 2.5 to 3 grams of leucine in a single meal to flip the muscle-building switch. So where do you find it? Eggs. 2 eggs give you close to 1.2 grams of leucine. Not enough on their own, but a good start. Greek yogurt. 1 cup adds about 1.5 grams of leucine. Combine that with eggs, and you're almost at 3 grams already. Chicken breast, 3 to 4 ounces. $100 delivers about 2.5 grams of leucine, enough to hit the threshold in one shot. Cottage cheese. 1 cup, roughly 3 grams of leucine, a perfect light meal on its own. Soybeans or tempeh. Great plant-based options for vegetarians. Let me give you a real-life example. One of my patients, Susan, age 67, started her mornings with this simple plate: 2 boiled eggs, 1 cup of plain Greek yogurt, a sprinkle of chia seeds, and a few fresh berries. That gave her just over 3 grams of leucine plus 25-30 grams of high-quality protein. After 6 weeks, she came back and told me, "Doctor, I can get up from my chair more easily. And climbing stairs doesn't scare me anymore." Here's the bottom line. What matters most is spreading protein and leucine evenly throughout your day. Many Americans eat very little protein in the morning, then load up at dinner. But after 60, your body needs a leucine trigger 3 times a day, not just once. The common mistake is thinking I'll make up for it by eating a big steak tonight. But it doesn't work that way. Your body doesn't store the leucine signal. If you don't hit the threshold at breakfast and lunch, those muscles miss their chance to grow. So the lesson is simple. You can mix leucine powder into your coffee, or you can design your meals wisely. The form doesn't matter. What matters is hitting that leucine target, meal after meal, day after day. By now, you've probably realized that leucine is the switch that flips on your muscle-building machinery. But in real-life practice, I often see older adults standing in front of shelves full of powders and pills. BCAAs, whey protein, HMB creatine. And they ask me the same question: "Doctor, which one do I really need?" Let's break it down one by one. Leucine. This is the whistleblower, the one who gives the clear starting signal. If you're over 60, just drinking a regular protein shake sometimes isn't enough to send the muscle-building message. Leucine gives the clearest command, especially first thing in the morning when your body is hungry and needs a strong push. HMB, V-hydroxy, V-methylbutyrate. Think of HMB as leucine's offspring. Your body naturally makes it from leucine. Some studies show it helps reduce muscle breakdown and improve strength, especially in people who are very frail or unable to exercise fully. I once had a 75-year-old patient who was too weak to lift weights, but with a little HMB and light daily walking, his muscle and stamina still improved after just a few months. The catch: HMB is usually more expensive and harder to find than leucine. Whey protein, or EIAs, essential amino acids. Whey is like bringing a full truckload of bricks to the construction site. It carries every amino acid you need, including leucine, which makes up about 10% of whey. 1 scoop of whey protein, 25 to 30 grams, gives you enough leucine to hit the threshold for a meal. For many people, It's the most convenient way to get both the bricks and the switch at the same time. Creatine. This one doesn't directly flip the mTOR switch like leucine, but it works in another way. Creatine boosts your strength, endurance, and energy inside the muscle. And when combined with resistance training, it has been proven to help older adults gain lean mass and strength more effectively. Now here's the mistake I see most often. People think, if I just take the supplement, I'll be fine. But no powder can replace movement. Supplements are the helpers. You are the main character with every walk you take, every chair you stand up from, every light resistance exercise you commit to. So here's the lesson. Think of leucine as the switch, whey or EAAs as the bricks, HMB as the backup plan for those who struggle to train, creatine as the extra fuel. Use them wisely. Pair them with movement, and you'll have the solid foundation you need to fight off sarcopenia and keep your independence strong. My friend, I always tell my patients this: leucine is the command. But if you don't give your muscles a reason to act, that command falls into empty space. Muscles don't just need raw materials and signals. They need a reason. And the strongest reason is movement. The good news: you don't need a fancy gym. You don't need heavy weights or complicated machines. Just 10-15 minutes of gentle movement after your morning coffee with leucine creates the perfect handshake between nutrition and exercise. Start simple. Chair, squats. Sit down and stand up slowly from a chair, 10-12 times. Use your hands for light support if needed. This is the golden exercise for older adults. It strengthens your thighs and glutes, the very muscles that keep you balanced. Calf raises rise up onto your toes 15-20 times while holding onto a table or chair. Strong calves mean steadier walking and fewer falls. Step-ups. Step onto a low stair or sturdy platform, arto. 10 times each leg. It mimics the exact motion of climbing stairs, one of the daily challenges after 60. Resistance band rows. Pull a band toward your chest 12-15 times. This strengthens your back and shoulders while also improving posture, something many people lose with age. I remember one of my patients, David, age 74. In the beginning, his legs shook every time he tried to stand up from a chair, but after 1 month of his little morning ritual, coffee plus squats, he could stand up 10 times in a row without holding on. The joy in his eyes was worth more than any pill I could ever prescribe. Here's the mistake I see too often. People drink their leucine, then sit down with the newspaper for the whole morning. That way they waste the golden window when their body is primed to build muscle. So here's the takeaway. Let your morning coffee be the start button, and let those 10 minutes of movement right after be the contract signed. Together, they send your muscles a message loud and clear. It's time to rebuild strength today. My friend, after many years working with patients over 60, I've learned something important. Most people don't fail because they lack effort. They fail because of small mistakes repeated every day, and those little mistakes silently switch off the muscle-building switch we've been talking about. Mistake? Not enough leucine. I've seen folks stir a tiny teaspoon of leucine, maybe 1 or 2 grams, and then wonder why nothing happens. Remember, your body needs at least 2.5 to 3 grams in one dose to flip the switch. Anything less is like knocking too softly on a door. The foreman of the construction site stays asleep. Mistake number 2, mixing it the wrong way. One patient of mine loved blending leucine into a sweet latte with sugar and whipped cream. The problem: sugar and heavy cream can slow absorption and dilute the leucine signal. The best choice: a cup of hot black coffee, or at most just a splash of unsweetened milk. Mistake number 3, trusting the wrong supplements. Many BCAA powders on the market contain only 20-30% leucine. To hit the right dose, you'd have to drink a large amount, while the extra isoleucine and valine don't add real benefits. That's why I recommend choosing pure L-leucine, so you know you're giving your body the right signal. Mistake number 4, Forgetting movement. Leucine sends the command, but if you spend the whole morning sitting and reading the paper, your muscles have no reason to respond. This is the most common mistake I see. Many people give up too soon thinking leucine doesn't work, when in truth they never gave their muscles a reason to build. Mistake number 5. Ignoring your overall health. If you have kidney, liver, or blood sugar issues, you shouldn't supplement without speaking to your doctor first. For most, it's safe. But health is always personal, never one size fits all. The solution: measure carefully. Keep a simple journal, and live by one principle: the right dose at the right time with the right habit. Do that consistently, and within 2 to 4 weeks, you'll notice it. Steadier steps, easier rises from a chair, and a confidence you thought you had lost. Not from magic, not from luck, but from fixing the little mistakes that used to hold you back. You might be thinking, Dr. Richards, this all sounds great. But where do I start? I need a clear plan. Well, let me walk you through the very same 4-week roadmap I give my own patients. Week 0, laying the foundation. Before we begin, we need a baseline. Try the 30-second chair. Stand test, see how many times you can rise and sit in 30 seconds. Time yourself, walking 4 meters. If you can check your grip strength, these numbers aren't a judgment. They're your starting line, the place where change begins. Weeks 1, 2, flipping the switch. Start your mornings with coffee and 2.5 to 3 grams of leucine at least 5 to 6 days a week. Within 10-15 minutes, move your body with gentle resistance chair squats, calf raises, or step-ups, and make sure each meal contains about 25 to 30 grams of protein with at least 2.5 grams of leucine. Think of this as giving your muscles both the command and the building blocks. Weeks 3-4, building the structure. Now increase the challenge just a little. Add resistance bands or simply do a few extra reps. If your meals fall short, consider adding whey protein or even creatine. But always check with your doctor first. Keep a simple record of your progress. More chair stands, easier stair climbing, or simply feeling steadier on your feet. And after 4 weeks, most of my patients notice the difference: firmer calves, stronger thighs, no more dreading the stairs, and perhaps most importantly, a deep sense of independence restored. My friend, I want you to remember, this muscle loss is not destiny. It's biology, and biology can be changed. The solution doesn't always come from something dramatic, but often from something small like your morning cup of coffee upgraded in the right way. So if you found this video helpful, tap like to support the message. Share it with a friend or loved one who worries about their legs. And don't forget to subscribe, so you won't miss more science-backed secrets to staying strong and free in your 60s, 70s, and beyond. Because real strength doesn't come from youth. It comes from making the right choices repeated every single day. And tomorrow morning, when you lift that cup of coffee, I want you to see it for what it really is: the beginning of stronger legs and a more independent life.